Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming back my good friend Lynne Stewart. You may remember her. She was Miss Yvonne on Pee-wee's Playhouse, and she's coming on the show today. We're going to talk about the 30th anniversary of Christmas at the Playhouse, my favorite Christmas special of all time. It still holds up. It's still funny and heartwarming, and we're going to talk about the show today, and I can't wait. I love Lynne. She is absolutely a sweetheart and a very funny, talented lady, and just, you can't get any better than Lynne Stewart. She is just awesome. So, here is my new interview with Lynne Stewart.
Hello?
Hey, Lynne.
Hi.
Welcome back. How are you?
I'm good.
That's great. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was very nice. My aunt lives in a senior living facility and in a place called Bradbury. And so my sister and I and some of my sister's friends went out and had Thanksgiving with her. She's like in her 90s, so she still drives, but she doesn't drive very much. So we now spend all the holidays with her, so she doesn't have to travel.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. In her 90s and still drives. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, my Thanksgiving was pretty good. I'm just so in love with my mother's cooking. She just makes the best stuffing and gravy at Thanksgiving time, and after it's gone, I just want more.
Well, maybe you can get her to do it for the holidays, for Christmas. She can make some stuffing and gravy for you for Christmas.
No, she only does it once a year. She just, I don't think she just has it in her to do it more than one time a year.
Well, thank God she does it one time a year. And I bet there's some leftovers, too, that you could have for a few days.
Oh, there was.
Great.
But it's all gone now. It's, because it's been 2 weeks already. But yeah, I wanted more and more of it.
Right.
And she was bringing, a whole lot of it to my brother, and God, I wanted that.
Where is your brother? Could he, is he nearby?
Oh, he's like 4 hours away.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, up in the Bay Area. But, yeah, so it was pretty good. I'm going to, unfortunately, be alone this Christmas because my mom has to work and stuff, and I'll be alone, but I'm very grateful. At least I have a roof over my head, because there was a couple of Christmases where I didn't.
I'm glad you have a roof over your head, too.
Mm-hmm. Now, in a few weeks, it will be 30 years since Christmas at Pee-wee's Playhouse aired. Can you believe that?
Wow. Are we being taped now?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah, can you believe that? 30 years.
Yes, I can believe it.
I remember the night this special aired. I was 5, and it was my brother's 15th birthday that night. And I just fell in love with the special right away. It's just so funny and heartwarming, and just so much great stuff is in it. Do you know the behind the scenes of how the idea came to Paul to do the special?
I know that it was his dream to do a special, and he got the people that he wanted. He had a list of people, and there might have been somebody who turned him down, but I don't know about it. He was just thrilled to get people that he loved and his idols, to do the show. He had and still has a friendship with Cher and had one with Joan Rivers, and they're all there. And so it was just a wonderful celebration of love and the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it was so funny that Dinah Shore, that she made fun of herself because, he slipped out of the booth and with a dummy and a mask, and she was totally game for that. And so it was
yeah.
It was really a love affair between the stars, and they said yes, and he's friends with Katie Lang, and she said yes. So it was a wonderful experience, and he knew Frankie and Annette because he had worked with them before.
Mm-hmm.
And I had worked with Annette before. I did a Skippy commercial.
Oh.
For her. And so it was really fun to see her again. And it was just a wonderful celebration. I only worked on the show for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I had my scene where I came into the Playhouse, and then the ending scene when Santa came.
Mm-hmm.
But there were two men who were close friends with mine. Unfortunately, they've both gone on. Robert Turteries, who designed the dress,
Mm-hmm.
and Jerry Missoni, who designed the wig. And I used those. I used them for years, and the dress has been reconstructed, and I can still wear the dress, and have used it for charity events all along. First, I used it as Miss Yvonne for charity events, and then there was a while where people were not that familiar with the Playhouse, and I used it as Mrs. Claus for Santa's second wife. I was Jennifer Claus for charity events, and then there was a resurgence of the Pee Wee show, and I went back to using the dress and the costume.
Mm-hmm.
But the work that went into that was amazing, and their genius and their sense of style and their image lives on in that dress and in the wig. The wig, when I went to New York, I had the dress and sent to me, and I had the wig redone because the wig was so old. So I do have a new wig, but I still had the dress.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's one of the better times, or one of the better looks that Miss Yvonne had was in that special. You certainly looked gorgeous there, Lynn.
Thank you. I had a lot of fabulous help, and also V. Neal, who is an award-winning makeup artist.
Mm-hmm.
She designed Miss Yvonne's makeup, and she also designed Paul's makeup.
Yep. I don't know if I told you last time, I saw Paul honor V at Monsterpalooza in Pasadena last year, and it was amazing.
Great.
Yeah. That was, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. He was right there, and nobody knew that he was going to be there to honor her. That was just so awesome. I do know that it was shot in 2 weeks. They had to accommodate the celebrity schedules. I was reading Cher had only 25 minutes to film her scene because she was on tour at the time. She had to go. Wow. She had to get on a plane and go do a show that night. And Katie Ling took a whole day to film her scene, and yeah, I just love, like, certain things that are repeated, like, everyone gives Pee Wee a fruitcake, you know, and he makes a brick room out of them at the end.
Right.
I've actually,
I love that too.
yeah, I've actually never seen or tasted a fruitcake, but I heard that they are pretty gross.
I like them. My dad and I like them. I mean, they're very rich,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't eat a lot of fruitcake, but it's just a holiday tradition. There's things that I have to have at least one of during the holidays. I have to have tamales. I have to have tamales during the holidays,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to have, of course, pumpkin pie.
Yep.
And turkey, mashed potatoes, and gravy. And then things that I eat all year have more meaning for me during the holidays. I love lox and bagels. So during the holidays,
Mm-hmm.
I have that. But I have that like every week. And sushi, which I have every week, I have to have that during the holidays. So there are foods that and I always have a little piece of fruit cake during the holidays, and I think that's it. But my parents are both gone now. I mean, I'm in my early 70s, and I'm glad that I had them. I lost my mother 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad 10 years ago, and my dad loved pumpkin. Oh, and flan. My mother loved flan.
Mm-hmm.
So I always think of her when I have flan, and I always think of my dad when I have pumpkin pie, because food has so much memories. So you will always have the memory of your mother with the mashed potatoes and the gravy and the stuffing. And even when you have that, if you have that another time during the year, you think of her, because obviously
Mm-hmm.
she makes the best mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing. So food is tied very closely to memories, and I have German heritage, and the Pfeffernusse, and I think that it's like in my DNA that I love that taste
Mm-hmm.
of like cinnamon and allspice and ginger. I love that. I love that taste, and it's probably in my DNA that I'm attracted to German Christmas cookies. Even though I don't speak German, I've never been to Germany. I didn't find out that I was German till later on in my life, and but I am drawn towards that taste.
Oh, I hope you go to Germany someday, Lynn. That would be great. Yeah. Yeah, my mom and I, we love pumpkin pie. October, November, December are the 3 months that we have it the most during the holiday season. And about a month ago, before Thanksgiving, my mom and I, we go to this country style buffet over here in Reading, and they have pumpkin pie there. And she surprised me with buying me a whole pumpkin pie with whipped cream on it, and that was so sweet of her, I thought.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My sister lives near a health food store called Mother's in Santa Ana, and they make a pumpkin pie with no sugar, and it's surprisingly delicious. So I have her bring me that pie, and I have that Thanksgiving time at my aunt's just to cut down a little bit on the sugar, and
Right.
it's also delicious and better than the desserts that they have there that have sugar in them. So I'm grateful for that I have this great pumpkin pie that doesn't have a lot of sugar in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just and I'm happy to spend that time with my sister and my aunt. But because besides my sister and my aunt, that's all I have great cousins, but they all live far away.
Mm-hmm.
So my immediate family is my sister and my aunt, and I'm happy I have them for the holidays.
Oh, yes, you certainly are. You certainly are. And there's a line in the special. Oh my God, it cracks me up. It sounds like a line that would have been in the stage show. He says to you, "So, Miss Yvonne, before you go making out with everyone in the Playhouse, how about forking over the gift?"
I thought that was very funny too, because Miss Yvonne, she loved to hug people and kiss people, and I thought that was very funny too. I love that line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love how Pee-wee treats Frankie and Annette like they're prisoners. He's like bullying them, and they have to make the Christmas cards, and he gives them bread and water.
Yes, I thought that was really funny, and I thought his interplay with Santa was very funny, and then he came around and decided that he wanted to help the children of the world, and he got to ride with Santa. So it was cute, because there's a generous side to Pee-wee, and there's a side that's like the selfish little boy and the generous little boy, and the generous little boy always wins out. Like he gave his wish to me in the original stage show, so I could be with Captain Carl, and he gave his wish up so he could help the children of the world. So I think that's Pee-wee. I love the fact that Pee-wee isn't all good, that he can be a bratty little boy, and then he can be a wonderful, sensitive little boy too.
Yeah, well, you can't have anything Christmas related without having a true meaning of Christmas moral in the end. It's just obligatory, whether it's Charlie Brown's Christmas special, or even even Bob Hope Christmas specials had them. It's obligatory to have that.
And Suzanne Kent, Mrs. Renee, I thought she did a beautiful job talking about Hanukkah, and everybody loves the fact that the dinosaurs are Jewish and they celebrate Hanukkah.
Yeah, I love that. I always love that too. It's funny, Mrs. Renee, she was supposed to be a kind of a one-off of Mrs. Steve, who was in the first season.
Right.
Yeah, the heavy-set, nosy neighbor, except Mrs. Renee was a little bit nicer than Mrs. Steve. Yeah.
Right. And Mrs. Steve unfortunately passed away, so when they came, they had to recast her, and Suzanne was in the groundlings with Paul and me at the same time, and she's a brilliant actress and comedian and teacher. So I'm so glad that she worked on the show.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that, like, green eyeshadow she has too.
Yes.
One joke that always went over my head when Pee Wee gives Reba the mail lady those giant press-on toenails. They look like they're for an elephant or something. I never got that
Is that
joke.
in the Christmas special?
Yeah,
Oh, I must have missed that part that he gave her giant toenails.
yeah, giant press-on toenails, and I never knew what the purpose of that joke was. It was weird. So you had those, yeah. So you had those two scenes. You didn't have anything cut out, did you?
No, no, and I was lucky to get that because because it was such a star-studded cast, the regulars, like Vic Trevino and
Mm-hmm.
John B. And we all had even Lawrence Fishburne. We had tiny little bits of the show, and rightfully so because they had to accommodate this huge star-studded cast.
Yeah. It, yeah, I mean, Little Richard was there. I love Little Richard.
I do too.
Did you get to meet him?
No, the people that I got to meet. Well, I knew the Del Rubio triplets because they had worked on the show before, and they were very active in LA in charity events. And let's see, who I met. Katie Lang, who I knew before because she was a friend of Paul's and we'd seen her in concert.
Mm-hmm.
I knew Joan Rivers, but I didn't get to work with her on the same day. But Whoopi came, and I had worked with her on Jumping Jack Flash, and so it was fun to see her again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who else. Who else did I so I worked at the same time. Katie Lang, I saw her. Grace Jones, I saw her, which was very exciting. And Zsa, I got to see her. So those were the people that I happened to. They were filming segments the days that I was filming segments, but there was a lot of people. Most of the people I never saw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also heard that Magic Johnson had to shoot his scene in just an hour because he had a game that day.
Yes, I mean, the stars were so wonderful and generous to squeeze their schedule. I mean, to make room in their schedule to see to do the show.
Mm-hmm. And that set looked so beautiful.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing about the Playhouse set. Even when it wasn't decorated, there were so many fabulous things on the walls, and you could go. I found something when I started looking. I found something new every day, something that I hadn't seen the day before, because it was so filled with wondrous, fabulous artifacts.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, was that special highly rated when it aired?
Do you know? I think it grew in popularity, and now it's a classic.
Yeah, it gets a 7.9 rating on IMDb. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm. I was watching it last night on YouTube, and the person who uploaded it included the original CBS commercials that aired the night that night. And I saw this funny commercial where Judy Carter and Larry Cedar are like flirting while she's like working behind the counter selling isotoner gloves. It was so funny.
I saw that. I watched the special on YouTube last night too, and I know exactly the commercial you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it was very cleverly done. About, that he wanted 9 gloves for all his girlfriends.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, that's pretty. Yeah, it was pretty funny. This past weekend, we lost Gloria Katz, who you worked with in American Graffiti.
Yes.
Yeah, she was responsible for some of George Lucas's best and, let's be honest, some of his worst movies as well. And her and her husband Willard Hike collaborated with him and wrote a lot of his movies and stuff. Did they have a memorial for her yet?
I didn't know her. I just knew of her work and wanted to give her a tribute to her on Facebook. I didn't know her, but I'm so grateful to her for American Graffiti because it changed my life. I do I do signings for American Graffiti, as you know, and also signings as Miss Yvonne, and now I do signings. People want pictures connected with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. So I'm very, very grateful for American Graffiti because I've gotten to go to car shows all over the country and been with friends. I mean, Cindy Williams is my best friend since junior college, and I get to see her on signings, and Candy. And this last signing, the Hollywood Autograph Show, I got to reconnect with Richard Dreyfuss, who used to be my next-door neighbor growing up. Mm-hmm. And that was so much fun. And then Bo Hopkins, who is a friend, I get to see him at signings.
Right.
And every year, Candy Clark and Bo and whoever else is available, we all go to Petaluma, where a lot of American Graffiti was filmed. And it's so much fun because we're friends. We now, after all these years, are friends with a lot of the locals. And they take us to different restaurants who are sponsoring the car show. And we take pictures with the owners of the restaurants and have great meals. And there's usually a dance, and there's a steak dinner that they have every year for the actual car cruise starts. And I see friends that I've made over the years. So it's really a family affair, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun seeing everybody again.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's funny. I saw this interview that Richard Dreyfuss did recently, and it was a 2-hour interview. There was maybe 6 minutes of talk about his acting career, and he brought up some very valid points about the Me Too movement and about how the internet, tears people down and stuff, right? And I realized after listening to this interview that I knew almost nothing about it. He was very just intelligent and insightful, I mean, he's a very smart man.
He always was intelligent and insightful, even in the 4th grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
You go that far back with him.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing. You real quick. When we were talking the other night, you said you wanted to bring something up. I forgot, what was it?
I did already. I just wanted to pay tribute to Jerry Bissotti and Robert Tudories and the gift that they gave me that has gone on. The wig and the dress have life of their own and have done so much good. Because I've worn them in benefits for Children's Hospital, for AIDS, for children's literacy, and they just are so much a part of me, and the two of them were so much a part of me as friends, and the work and the love that went into that dress and the wig, and I spoke at both of their memorials, and Robert Tudorese had a memorial at the Max Factor building here in Hollywood, and the dress and the wig, they asked me if they could borrow the dress and the wig, and I said, of course, and his assistant, Christopher, said, you have a Robert Tudorese original dress, and he said he did not give his dresses and suits and costumes out. I mean, they were his, but he gave it to me because he knew that I would use it for good. And not only did he make the dress for me, I was going to be in a parade in Chicago in the winter to support Children's Hospital there, and he made a wrap for me out of the same material. He made a cape, so I had this beautiful cape and gloves to keep me warm in Chicago. And I just wanted to make sure that I paid tribute to those two men who meant the world to me, and I got to. And thank you for letting me talk about them.
Absolutely. That is so great. God, you're such a loyal person, Lynn. You're very loyal.
Well, thank you.
Yes. By the way, is Sydney still doing the Menopause musical?
Yes, she's doing it in Las Vegas.
Still doing it in Las Vegas. Yeah. Yeah, when they came to the Bay Area in January of last year, she wasn't doing it there. And I'm so glad I didn't waste my money going to see it without her, you know?
Oh, it's a fun musical because they use fun music from like the 70s, and they revamp the words to have to talk about, like, I'm having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. They excuse me, I got a little peanut butter in my throat. So, but yes, she does a little bit of stand-up. She does some of the scenes with them, and she does some of the songs, and it's really adorable. She's wonderful in it. I've seen it a couple of times.
I hope I get to see it too and stuff. I just emailed her again recently about interviewing her, so fingers and toes crossed on that. But Lynn, I'm so glad we did this again, and I hope you have happy holidays with your sister and your aunt. And,
thank you.
And
is your brother going to be able to come in for Christmas?
No, he's going to be working too and stuff.
He said he's working too. But how did your mom get the food to him? How did he get the food?
Well, it's a weird thing because my mom, okay, she lives here with me, but she stays over at my brother's because she's working over in the Bay Area because she lost her job over here and then she got a job over there. So she stays with my brother like during the week, and then she comes down here like every other weekend and spends the weekend with me. But I'm primarily here alone.
I see.
Yeah. So fortunately, we only have to do this just maybe another month or two longer, and we might be moving back to the Bay Area. And I'm still trying to move to Los Angeles and stuff and get a room somewhere up there and stuff. But we'll see what happens. It might happen though, either way.
Yes. That sounds like a plan, and it sounds like it's it's working well for right now. You know, you get to see your mom, and she gets to work and be close to work and see your other brother,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to see her on the weekends.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I'm just so blessed because, I started out the year with this podcast, 44 episodes, and now I'm at 329 with you. And I'm just so lucky with the people I get to talk to. And I've been very persistent. I've been very grateful. I can't describe how blessed I am.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yes.
Well, Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful Christmas and a prosperous, wonderful New Year.
Oh, you too, Lynn, and stay strong. Hold your head up and continue to count your blessings. I love you, darling.
I love you right back, and same to you.
Okay, have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Lynne Stewart. Ain't she a sweetheart? I am just so in awe of you, Lynn. You're just the greatest person that's ever walked the earth, and I sincerely mean that. I love you, and Merry Christmas. And I will continue to watch Christmas at the Playhouse. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.